Hey comic book fans, I'm back with another review. So seeing as how Hellboy was released last Thursday, two less than stellar reviews, I'm probably going to watch it tomorrow with a friend. Not super excited, but I've heard some mixed reviews. I probably won't be reviewing it on the channel, but I did watch the animated movie, or movies, yesterday, so I figured it would be fun to take a look back at the old days of Hellboy when Guillermo del Toro was working on the, franchise and everything. So, and see how these, came to be. So right off the bat, I'd like to say, I think these are kind of impressive in a sense, because, well, I didn't really notice it at first, but then, after, watching, the second one, I sort of noticed that the eyes look kind of similar to Spectacular Spider-Man, and I realized that Sean Galloway, who worked on Spectacular Spider-Man, also worked on this, and he did the character concept design. And then there's also a fantastic voice cast in here of Ron Pearlman, the original three actors from the from the Guillermo del Toro movies, of Ron Pearlman, Selma Blair, and I'm pretty sure the guy that did not the voice for the first movie of Abe Sapien, but the second Hellboy, he did the voice from Abe in the second one, and he did the voice in here as well. So, we have Sword of Storms, and we have Blood and Iron. First off, I watched Sword of Storms first, so we'll start with that one. This one is alright. It involves a professor of archaeology being possessed by a sword, so Hellboy has to travel into the sword, if you will, and stop the demons of thunder and lightning. And it goes back and forth between Liz and Abe on an adventure trying to find Hellboy, because again, he went into the sword, so it's where does Hellboy go? And of course Hellboy is in a mythical Japan, so we see his adventure in this. And it's pretty alright. There's some spiders and a lot of crazy action. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it's the lesser of the two, in my opinion. Now, honestly, I haven't really read the Hellboy comics, but I don't know, because in my opinion, I feel like the whole Japan thing is kind of a little out of place, but, that's just my opinion. I've only seen the movies, so I'm more used to, hell and demons and all that crazy stuff. Not necessarily Japan. I think he might have been in Japan in the video game. I've only played bits and pieces of that, but, yeah. So, Sword of Storms, I'd probably give I don't know. Well, I guess if we're comparing the two, it's a lot harder to give a rating. But overall, it's pretty good. I'd give it, I don't know, I might just end up giving them the same rating, even though I think the Blood and Iron's better, but I don't know, they each have their own stories, because they each start with a introduction to the Hellboy mythos, kind of like a little brief origin story of Hellboy, in World War II, they found Hellboy and made the BPRD, and then we start with the adventure. So, yeah. And then we have Blood and Iron, and this is the professor, Hellboy's dad, fought vampires in the old days, and now the Vampire Queen is back. So Hellboy and Abe and Liz and the professor and a few other characters go on a mission to stop the Vampire Queen. This one's, I think, better because I think it's, now granted I like a Japan story as much as the next guy, but I think I like the vampire story better because it just feels like it fits the Hellboy mythos, in my opinion, better. Again, I haven't read the comics, I'm not a Hellboy professional or anything, but it seems more in line with what I've seen in the movies, than like going to Japan or something. It just seems kind of weird. But overall, I think they're both pretty good stories. And they're again, like, I think they're very interesting because there's like I mean, they're more in line with, of course, the Hellboy movies of being like kind of PG-13. There's like some like, you know, piss and not actual piss, but Hellboy says like, you're pissing me off, and like you know, it's not like it's gonna be rated R or anything. There's some blood, but overall they're a pretty good story. Our stories, they're definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen them, at least just to, you know, get more Ron Pearlman as Hellboy, because there's not enough of that, especially now that the movie franchises are done. Now we have David Arbor or something like that. So overall, I'd give them, what should I be comparing the two? But it's kind of hard to, you know, give them each a different rating. But I'd probably say they're both like about a B+. I prefer the Blood and Iron more than Sword of Storms, but because I think Sword of Storms, like, I don't know, I feel like they Sword of Storms went on a bit longer. They both involve a ghost, which is kind of funny in some respect. But yeah, they're both just kind of, they're good movies. I'll just say it like that. And they each have like good voice actors in there. Like I said before, because of Sword of Storms has Phil LaMarr in there, and then Blood and Iron has James Arnold Taylor and Rob Paulsen. So they each have a great voice cast. But yeah, they're definitely like they're different from the movies, but also, you know, in a sense canonical, because they've got this voice cast. But then also there's a few different characters like I think her name's like Katie or something like that. I don't think she's been in the movies. But again, I'd have to read the comics to learn more about the mythos and everything. But yeah, overall they're pretty good. You know, you get more Ron Pearlman as Hellboy. And they both have great action. So yeah, I'd give them both probably about like a B+. You know, personal preference dictates that Blood and Iron's a bit better, but, you know, that's just me. Definitely give this a look if you're into some Hellboy and you don't want to watch the new movie because, you know, the reviews or whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next comic book review. Peace.